Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to make the going downstairs animation, but you can use the same method to make the character go upstairs, for example. Also, before we begin, you can join my Discord server where we have a nice growing community and we help each other out and share our work in progress. You can also get my animation library for $10, or you can also join my superhero Patreon for $10 a month and get the animation library as well as direct 1-hour coaching per month. All the links will be in the description. Now, let's continue with the video. For this animation, I'm not going to be using the root bone. As you know, in my previous tutorials, I showed you how to animate the walk cycles and run cycles using the root bone. But for this animation, to get cleaner results, we're going to be doing an animation without the root bone. It might take more time, but the result is going to be awesome. Now, to begin, you're going to need a character rig and you're going to need a staircase. You can get stairs from a lot of places online, but if you want to learn how to create the staircase specifically, then you can stay until the end of this video and I'm going to show you how to do that. And for the character rig, I'm going to be using the BPS rig version 4. It belongs to the Squared Media and all the links will be in the description. Now take your character and place it on the first step of the stairs, in this case somewhere over here. And the way I'm moving the character, you can also move your character by holding GZ, GY. But what I'm doing is I'm pressing G and then middle mouse button. I'm holding the middle mouse button and I'm dragging my mouse wherever I want. For example, if I want to move the character up, it's going to snap on the Z axis and it's going to move the character up, and same goes for the X and Y axis as well. So I'm going to place the character somewhere over here. If that was too confusing for you, you can enable the gizmos, for example, and enable the location and rotation tools from here. But I'm not used to these, so I'm going to be using this. Now, keep in mind that I move the character on the first step of the stairs while I'm in the object mode. So make sure you're in the object mode, place your character somewhere over here. And now we can start animating, but before we do, I like to set my keyframe start frame to frame 0. So I'm going to set this to 0 and 0 from here as well. And I'm going to go to keying. Choose the keying set of location rotation, and also let's enable the auto keyframing as well so that we don't have to manually set up the keyframes all the time. Now I'm going to click on Control Tab to go into the pose mode, and if you're confused on what I'm clicking, I have the screencast keys out and enabled so you can see what I'm clicking over here. Now let's give our character an initial pose. So for example, the character is looking downstairs and is staying in like a neutral pose. You don't have to follow along for this, you can just keep your character in a default pose. And by the way, this method will work on other Minecraft rigs or also for non-Minecraft rigs as well if you're going to be using the principle. But for Minecraft rigs, it's easy to use and they're easy to follow along with the tutorial as well. So yeah, let's give my character some initial pause as if the character is looking down and preparing to go downstairs. And now what we need to do is first of all select all the keyframes which we're going to be moving. So we're going to be moving the legs. We're going to be moving both hands and arms, the entire body, so pelvis, torso, and hip bones, and also the head. We don't really need anything else. Now, once you selected that, make sure to press on I. Hover over the 3D viewpoint and press on I so that we set the keyframe for location and rotation as well, so that we avoid any confusion and any issues in the future. Now, let's go to frame 10 on the timeline, and let's move the character's right leg down. So I'm going to choose this right leg, press on G, middle mouse, forward, G, Z, move it down, and let's place the character bone here. Don't pay attention to the leg for now, let's pay attention to the bone. So let's place the bone like somewhere over here. Now, as you can see, the leg is hovering in the end, which we don't want. So we can take the pelvis and then press G, Y, move it forward, G, Z, and then move it down. Now we can take the leg and make sure the leg which is not active, in this case, left leg is not really active because it's staying in one place. So we can press on I to set a keyframe, and now we can make further adjustments. So for example, I'm going to rotate this forward. I'm going to rotate this up, push it back, and let's adjust the body as well. Maybe move it forward. Move it up slightly. And yeah, let's pay attention to the body and the legs only. Now what we can do is go to frame 20 and then take the left leg this time. Make sure before you move anything on the left leg, make sure you have the keyframe set on the previous frame. So in this case, we already set a keyframe for frame 10. So now we're good to go. So go to frame 20 and then go forward. Let's move this forward. You can do for example, GZ, Z, move it down, GY, move it forward. But if you don't want to do that, what you can do is just eyeball the 3D cursor. So place the 3D cursor here because the character's leg is going to step here. So shift right click to place the 3D cursor over here. Now click on Shift S, selection to cursor. And as you can see, we move the leg with ease. And you can press, for example, R, Z, and then adjust the rotation that way. You can do this, but I'm not really using the 3D cursor method. I'm just moving this manually. But you can do this to save some time. It's pretty useful as well. Now select the pelvis again, move it forward, and then move it down. Again, adjust the body, keep adjusting it until you're happy with it. Take the right leg this time, which is not active, I to set a keyframe, and now make further adjustments. So maybe like move it here, and then move this up, and then move this backwards. Now let's watch back our animation and see what we have. As you can see, we have the character going downstairs, but we have something, but we need to adjust it. We need to adjust it with the in-between keyframes. So as you can see on the first step, the right leg is clipping, and then on the second step, the left leg is clipping through the stairs, which we don't want. So now let's go to frame 5, which is in between 0 and 10. First of all, take the right leg, and then let's push it up. So GZ, let's move this up somewhere over here. And we can also take the pelvis, and then slightly move it up, because when the character is walking in the animations, like right here, the character is going up, and it gives more like a cartoony look. Now we can go also on frame 15, move the pelvis up, GZ, and also adjust the left leg. It's not clipping too much, but we can move this forward, maybe push it down slightly, and rotate it forward. And let's see what we have. We have one step, and we have the second step. So we can keep adjusting the feet. For example, in this case, on frame 10, I don't like the way the right leg is placed, so I'm going to use RZ, move it forward, and now let's see what we have. First step, and then we have the second step. Now again, the leg is clipping here, so we can adjust this in between keyframes. So maybe somewhere over here, I'm going to push this leg up, push it forward, rotate it forward, and let's see what we have. Yeah, that looks a lot better. There's slight clipping here, but you don't really need to adjust it too much. As long as there's like not too much clipping, then you're good to go. So yeah, we have this first step and second step. Now you can keep using the same principle again. So move the first leg forward, set a keyframe for the second leg, move the second leg forward, and set a keyframe for the leg which is not active. So yeah, just keep doing this, and now we're gonna animate the hands, and we're gonna animate the body, and just make it more natural. And if you can keep doing this as long as you want, you can keep doing this, following this tutorial if you want. Or if you already got this principle, then you don't have to watch this tutorial again. Now, let's select the arms, and let's animate them. So let's go to, for example, first of all, make sure to always set a keyframe, because we already did set a keyframe. If you didn't, make sure to select them and press on I to set a keyframe for them. Now go to frame 10. And in this case, since the right leg is the one which is moving forward, we need to select the left arm and left hand and then move it forward. And then do the opposite for the right hand. Let's move it back. Yeah, let's do a pretty like a casual swing. Not too cartoony, like we don't want to do this. I mean, you can do this if you want, but I don't really do this too much. So yeah, now if you want, you can go to frame 20 and then manually adjust them. But what you can do is go to frame 10, select both hands with shift selection. Select like both shoulders, both arms. Press on I, make sure the keyframes are set for all channels for location and rotation. Now, left click, if you can see this, just left click on this diamond shaped keyframe. Make sure it's selected. If it's selected, it's yellow. If it's not, it's white. So select it, click on Ctrl C to copy it. And now go to frame 20 and then click on Ctrl Shift V. So that's gonna insert the flipped pose. Now we can see we have this animation with the character going downstairs and the character is swinging the arms as well. I can keep doing this. So if you want to go on like frame 40 or frame 30 in this case, you can click on Ctrl V and then go forward, click on Ctrl Shift V. So yeah, you can keep doing this for the character's arms. Now we need to animate the body as well. So select the torso, and then let's move the torso in the direction of the leg, which is going forward. In this case, the right leg is going forward. So let's take the torso and then rotate it slightly towards the right leg. Let's take the hip bone and then rotate it on the opposite side of the torso. So RZ and then rotate it on the right side. But don't overdo it. It's just going to give the animation a slight detail. Now again, select both of them and we need to mirror them on the frame 20. And obviously we can do this manually, like rotate this, rotate it like here, but we don't want to do this. So let's go to frame 10, select both of them, select the keyframe, Ctrl C, go to frame 20, Ctrl Shift V. As you can see, we have this animation. I think the torso is moving way too much. So to fix this, just move it forward slightly. Again, select keyframe on frame 10, Ctrl C, move to frame 20, Ctrl Shift V. Yeah, we have the slight movement. And as you can see, the head is following the torso, which is not realistic because the head generally mostly stays in one place. It's just looking forward or wherever the character is going most of the time, not all the time. So if you want to keep the head forward, you can do it two ways. One way is animating it manually. So for example, here I want the head to be forward. Go to frame 10, maybe RZ, rotate this and make sure it's like forward. Go to frame 20, make sure it's forward, but you don't really have to do that. What you can do instead, if you're not planning to add like a detailed movement to the head, you can go to the bone settings over here, click on bone, Then expand this Relations tab and then turn off Inherit Rotation. If you turn this off, so before I turn this off, I'm going to show you what it does. So if I select the torso and I move it, as you can see, the head is just basically rotating with it. And same goes for the pelvis. It's just going to rotate with the head, with the pelvis. The head's going to rotate with it. But if I select the head, go to the bone settings, go to the Relations, and if I turn off Inherit Rotation, now what's going to happen is if I rotate the body, the head is going to stay forward all the time, which is a bit creepy. But if I play the animation, you can see what happens. The head just stays forward. It's a bit robotic, but if you quickly want to do this, if you don't want to animate the head manually, you can do turn off Inherit Rotation, but you can enable Inherit Rotation and then also manually adjust the head position like this, and then so that the head always stays forward. And this method might be a bit tedious, but it's good because it gives you more control and you can animate the head like going, like looking sideways, looking up and down. But I think you can also do it while you have the Inherit Rotation turned off, but it might create slight issues because, you know, if you're not used to it, then it might create slight issues. But yeah, that's fine. You can use both methods. For this tutorial, I'm just going to turn off Inherit Rotation because I don't really need it. I'm going to turn off Inherit Rotation and make sure the character is always looking forward. Now, as you can see, when we look our animation from the front view, I'm going to press on numpad 1. The leg kind of bends in a weird way over here. So you can look at your animation from all the views, from front view and side view, for example, and make adjustments. So I'm going to select this leg, and it's bending like inwards, which I don't really want. So I'm going to press on RZ, and then maybe rotate it on the right side, somewhere over here. Let's see what we have. I think that's a bit too much. So yeah, let's adjust it and move it forward. And go forward. And I think, yeah, the right leg is fine. So we have this animation, and if I keep doing this for as long as I want, the character can go like downstairs entirely, but I'm not going to do this because I'm going to drag the tutorial for too long. Again, you can also place in between keyframes. For example, between frame 0 and 5, if I don't like something, for example, I can go here, maybe push the characters like slightly up, just to give you an example. Maybe on frame 7 or frame 6, I don't like the characters like being stuck, so I'm going to move this up, move this forward. And yeah, you can clean your animation this way. You don't have to do it again, but you can do it. And make sure the next keyframes flow well with the previous keyframes. So yeah, like this. Make sure like it follows it really well. In this case, my frame 5 and frame 6 didn't really match, but now it matched them. So yeah, they go like this. I can do the same thing for this leg as well. We had like slight clipping here on frame 11. We can move this forward, push it up. And maybe move this forward here. And then move this a bit forward as well. So we have this animation. As you can see, going downstairs, making going downstairs animation is not hard. And then you can do the same thing for the going upstairs animation. Now here you can make further adjustments. This is just the start, this is just the basics. So you can keep doing this, you can follow along. So as I promised, if you watch this until the end, I'm going to show you how to quickly create the stairs in a few seconds. So yeah, select the default cube, press on X to delete, and then Shift A and create a new cube. Now press on Tab to go into the edit mode. Press on 2 on your keyboard to go to the edge selection mode, or you can enter the edge selection mode from here. This is the middle one. Now select one of the edges on top, so this one. Left click to select the edge. Now click on Ctrl B and then bevel it, not right until the end, but like before the end, somewhere over here. So drag your mouse on the right side and now left click to confirm to stop over here. Now expand the bevel, don't click away, don't click on anything else. Now click on the bevel, expand the bevel option. Now go down here and then choose custom. Now go to preset over here and then let's select steps. And now what we need to do is increase segments. So if I increase segments, as you can see, it's going to create the steps manually. And I think we need something like 16. Yeah, 16 should be enough. Or you can also click here and then type 16 manually so that you don't have to like drag this on the right or left side. So yeah, that's how you create the stairs, and you can use them in your scenes. You can use them in demonstration, in tutorials or whatever. So that's it for this tutorial. If you want to learn more about Blender or animation or Minecraft animation and a lot more, then you can subscribe to this channel because I do monthly tutorials and sometimes I upload like challenges or my own animations as well. And you can take a look at my channel and find a lot of tutorials as well. If you're a beginner, I have a beginner tutorial series as well. And I also have an animation library with the BPS Rig version 4. There are over 40 animations. You can download them, drag and drop them, and use them in your own animations to save some time. So if you want to do that, you can check out my Patreon for that. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.